Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Rohan Das. I'm an implementation consultant at OpenLM since a year, and today I'm going to present to you how OpenLM is going to solve the process of license management of Autodesk licenses. Sorry for some technical difficulties. We had to delay it by 8 minutes. So now we're here for the webinar. Let's move on to the main core topic of this webinar. So, as we know, like the main challenges of a license of Autodesk is its licensing model. So recently, as Autodesk has migrated from the network-based licensing model to the single-user subscription model. So here in the single user subscription model, what mainly is the issue is, so basically the licenses are allocated to a particular user and you have to purchase the licenses only according to the number of users that are going to use that licenses. So after purchasing them, you have to allot those licenses to the users, and there's a lock-in period of 30 days where they cannot be reassigned to anyone. So they're completely different from the network-based licenses. So here, the organizations are losing control on how they're going to fetch those licenses detail and how they're going to manage those particular licenses. They're losing control over the usage, how they're going to use, how they're going to assign to different teams. Previously, in network-based licenses, you know what is the number of license you have in the pool and who are using it. So you can easily distribute it to other teams whenever there's an issue arise where you need to procure additional licenses for a particular team. However, another particular team is not particularly using this license at this particular moment. So you can always reassign to the other teams. But now you cannot do it because there's a 30 days lock-in period. So whenever the reassigning time comes, you have to take an informed decision to ensure there is a proper utilization of these Autodesk licenses because these are very costly licenses and you need to be using them to ensure the efficiency of how your organization is handling your R&D resources. So this is where OpenLM will help you. Let's show you how. So in OpenLM, we have a model where we have two source model of capturing information that will give you the total overview of how the model should work and how the Autodesk licenses are giving you the efficiency and how you're using them. So Autodesk license monitoring is majorly facilitated by two components. One is OpenLM SaaS agent and OpenLM workstation agent. OpenLM SaaS agent is a very lightweight component that sits on your any of the servers that has access to the Autodesk Cloud portal. So it will fetch the information of the license entitlement data and the license procurement data when the licenses has been procured, when they're going to when they're going to expire, and who is accessing the license at the particular time of the pool. And the workstation agent, on the other end, it relays the information of the usage type. So they work parallelly. The workstation agent is going to give you the information of the actual usage of what the user is using. And from the SaaS agent, you will get the information of who is using it. From relating this to, if there is a particular process attached to the particular to the Autodesk license, we can always monitor effectively what is the actual usage by not only giving you the start time and end time and the usage, but also to monitor the idle time and how you are calculating the actual usage is from totally done from our backend. So data collected has given us a proper visibility on usage of Autodesk licenses. Hereby, it gives you the control of whom to give it to you during the reallocation stage. Let's move on to the reports. As you can see from the OpenLM Server DB, we usually acquire three kinds of reports that are relevant to controlling and monitoring Autodesk licenses. As you know, we only need the data for the last 30 days to know whom to allocate to in the next allocation cycle. If there's a particular team that needs licenses and procure additional licenses for the new team members, you can always go back to the historical data of the license usage and see who is not properly utilizing and use some of the license from that particular team to allocate to the new members of the those who need the procurement at the current stage. This helps you in avoiding untimely procurement. So how we get it, I will drill down into the report section. Moving on to the license usage reporting. The license usage reporting, as you can see, it gives us the historical data and analysis showing how the software licenses have been used over time. This enables us to identify the trends and optimize the license allocation, as I mentioned before. So there's two types of way how we can represent our license usage reporting. Firstly, where we show you the concurrent license usage chart for an hourly basis or daily basis and even by feature. So what we're showing here in the below is the concurrent usage and available licenses chart by features, where let's say there is multiple features of Autodesk that you use in your Autodesk licensing model. But in the future, let's say you want to procure a particular feature that comes under Autodesk for a particular team who needs it. And you just go and see there is a very minimum concurrent usage, but you have seven, but you are only using five. You don't need to procure the additional licenses. You just need to find out who are not using those two particular licenses. And you can reallocate them to the team who is requiring it. And the other one is a heat map. This gives us a shift-wise usage report where we are showing the percentage of how much actually the people are using your licenses and in what period. But this is more relevant for the network-based licenses as you can allocate them shift-wise. But in this case, it is just giving an overview of when your workers are actually working effectively and when they're on leave, when they're not utilizing your licenses. Moving on to the next one, that is the license allocation report. License allocation report is one of the most important reports that gives you an overview of which particular user, which particular team he belongs to, and who is using the most, even who is using the least. Let's say a user is taking up a costly Autodesk licenses, but he is not using to the level that he should be using to. Then you can always notify him that you start using the Autodesk licenses and do not use the other licenses because you have one reserved to you. Or let's say a particular user don't know that after the allocation cycle he has access to the license and you are knowing it. He has access but he's not using it. You can always notify them. And also if somebody, let's say he after the 15 days his project is over, he's not even using it now, but you know it from this particular chart and you can always reallocate to someone else in the next allocation cycle. This is how the user allocation report is totally giving us a newer perspective of how you can manage these Autodesk licenses. Now, moving on to the last part of the report that is very effective for avoiding unnecessary business expenditure, that is a license procurement report. So what it gives you a data-driven forecasting on how much you are totally using your license pool, how much total quantity you have by feature name, how much you have in detailed reports. So you know beforehand, before the procurement cycle, what is the actual usage that you have used, what is how many number of features you usually had. Let's say you had a Autodesk particular license that is used for designing 3D software. And also you have something to do 3D forecasting of how civil engineering solutions are working. So in this particular solution, you know that one feature that is a civil engineering solution is not used to the level the other 3D simulation software is getting used. So this way, in the next procurement cycle, you will have a business informed decision of whether you need to proclaim more of those licenses or you can release them into the license pool. So this is how license procurement report is very effective and very efficient to giving you a total drill down report and gives you a cost effective solution in terms of OpenLM's expertise to give you how you can remove your extra cost, how you can avoid doing unnecessary expenditures during your procurement cycle. So I have already explained most of the things that the organizations benefit, but to concise today's webinar's topics, how we actually provide visibility. That is mainly what we have shown till now. But I will give you a more detailed example because like OpenLM platform is I have spoken about Autodesk licenses models only as of now in this particular webinar, but OpenLM platform is vendor agnostic. We support 95 plus license managers, and there is we support most of the vendors that provide you engineering solutions. Not only that, we also support the specialized licensing that gives you a total pool of how you can manage the software assets in your whole company. We are moving into a future where we are going to do a lot of software asset management capabilities in our current OpenLM platform, and we are going to be one of the biggest in this particular domain, and we will give you a pure visibility and totally be transparent on how you have the usage of those particular licenses that you have and how you are totally using your software assets. Because not only the licenses, because you can see there are many softwares that usually you buy in form of uh, perpetual, so you don't necessarily need to procure more, or let's say you have to do renewals. So in that way, what we do the asset software, we do the software asset management and help you to see the actual utilization of those software licenses. OpenLM reports provide you the visibility of how you're utilizing your license pool, and then it will enable you to do a fact-based reallocation. To you can divide it among your department, among your groups, among your users. This way it will give you a total control over your software assets and software licenses. License optimization is very important because what we do, we identify the underutilized licenses. We identify is that what are your most utilized licenses. That way it will give you a more informed and fact-based renewal strategies, renewal decisions, and how this way organization can avoid untimely procurement costs. They can do cost saving, and they can totally be applied to the license compliances and do a total reductions. As you can see, you can if you can go to our website, you can see many um, we have many particular you can say uh, many examples and many case studies where we have helped our customers gain a lot from the OpenLM platform, like how they have saved monies in untimely procurements and how they have totally like changed their policies of software asset management through OpenLM. Now, now I will take some questions. So, uh, So there is now I will take some questions from anyone. So that is how we will end our session today. So if you have any questions, please let me know. So yeah, okay. So if you want like Autodesk licensing in details, okay. So basically, what Autodesk is licensing in is different from others is Autodesk Autodesk usually like the other licensing models usually have the network-based licenses or named user licenses. So one is there is a pool of license, and you can always extract information and extract those licenses from the pool, and that way you can utilize those licenses. However, Autodesk has increased it to has modified it and migrated to a different strategy to increase their business output from their licensing strategies. What they have done, they have moved from the network-based licenses to the single user subscription-based model, where you have to procure 100 license for 100 users you are giving. Because previously what you used to do, let's say you have 100 users who are going to use that particular license, but you can procure 80 licenses because you know like 100 of them are not going to use the license all of the times. So you can procure 80 and you can renew it, you can cycle it among yourselves, and that way you can always have a proper visibility and proper usage and efficient consumption of those licenses. However, now you have to procure 100 for 100 users, but there is a catch. You have a lock-in period of 30 days, but 100 people has to be assigned a license and only they can use it for the next 30 days. So where we can help you is when the next allocation cycle comes, when you need to reallocate to different teams. So that way, when a team needs it, usually what you have to do in a current scenario, you have to procure, let's say there are 20 additional users, you have to procure those 20 additional licenses to give it to 20 additional users. But where OpenLM comes in is the OpenLM's capabilities will help you to have a proper visualization on how much is the actual utilization of those 100 licenses that you have procured before. Thereon, you can see, let's say there is a team where there are 10 members, but 8 of them are using it and 2 of them are not using it. So that way, in case of 10 teams, you will always have 20 licenses that are not properly utilized. So in this particular scenario, we will be saving you cost of 20 licenses in the next allocation cycle, because you will be reallocating it to the team who is actually needing it right now, but from the team who are not utilizing it effectively or who are not using it at all in their procurement cycle. Sorry, in that particular month. So this way, we will help you to figure out how to control those access of licenses, how to give a fact-based reallocation, and in the procurement cycle, you will have a totally business we have our BI reports which will give you a proper idea of how much you need to procure more. This way it will save you a lot in terms of license procurement charges. Okay, so you want to okay, there is another question I can see. So um so there is another question I can see where I need to explain how we are actually doing it. So I have already explained previously that we have a we have a particular architecture. Okay, let me go back to the slide once. So this is how we are actually monitoring the Autodesk licenses. We're not doing it in the single way that we used to do it before. But now, but how we can okay, so how we can do the Autodesk license monitoring feasible, because they usually have the cloud-based license monitoring. Hi, Sanjay, if you have any questions. Yeah, so how we're actually doing it? We're not doing it in the regular way where we are going into the license managers and we're fetching the details of the usage, but here on we are using a two-way method of guaranteeing of total and actual usage of those particular licenses that you already have. The one way is the SaaS agent, where from the Autodesk Cloud Portal, we extract the license entitlement data and procurement data and give it to the OpenLM server. And the agent will give the actual usage time of the processes that is associated with the Autodesk licenses to the OpenLM server. And how we're combining those? We're combining those with the help of the entitlement data, which user IP address and workstation has access. And that way, we're preparing the license usage report, the allocation report, and the procurement report, and will give you a proper visualization of how it is working. So I think it will answer the question of how we're doing it. Hi. Okay, so you want me to explain it again? Yeah. Yeah, I will do it. So let me let me go back to the point. So yeah, so what Autodesk has done, so simply put it, so Autodesk has migrated from a network-based licensing model to a single user subscription model. In network-based licensing model, let's say you have 80 employees, oh sorry, let's say you have 100 employees and you want to distribute them licenses, you can always procure 80 license and distribute it to 100 people, showing that let's say everyone is not using it at the same time. So that way you can always procure previously. But right now, what Autodesk has done, it has given you a new subscription license, a new licensing model, that is single user subscription based licenses. What it does is when a license is procured, it can be assigned to only one user and it is locked in for 30 days. It is not named user where you can remove it from someone at any point of time and give it to someone else. It is not also network based. So it is somewhat like a named user with a lock-in period. So you cannot reassign to anyone in those particular 30 days. So you will need to know, let's say 5 months you're using it, there are 100 people and 100 licenses you're procuring, you're using it. Let's say after 5 months, there's a team coming up saying we need 10 licenses of Autodesk. So what you will do, your first instinct, oh, we need to go and procure more 10 of those licenses. But here, we are not going to procure those 10 licenses. What we do, we'll go back to OpenLM platform. We will see in those 100 licenses, is there any license that are not getting used? Is there any license that is not getting used for the 10% of utilization? Oh, there are 5 licenses that are not getting used up to a 10% utilization mark. So what we'll do, we'll notify the user, hi, are you not using this right now? Have you used it 10 days before and not currently having any use of those particular licenses? He said, oh yes, my project is over. So yeah, you can allocate it to someone else. This visibility is what you will not have unless you have our platform. So this is the flexibility that we provide you. You save those money in 5 licenses. It is a lot. In untimely procurement, the cost you're saving is very beneficial for the company in the long run. So that is how we are going to cater to this particular model. I hope I have answered it. So yeah, Sanjay. So are there any questions? So, Yeah. So then we can wrap up for today's webinar. So there will be another upcoming webinar series. So today is the Autodesk licensing webinar that we have done. In the future, we will be doing another webinar for the Bentley licensing model and another for generalized licenses. How we actually help you to monitor the specialized licenses for any software, not only just engineering but specialized applications. So, for any questions, for anything, you can always reach out to sales@openlm.com, or you can always directly reach out to me over LinkedIn, and I will always be there to help you through the process of like any questions you need about our product and how we usually resolve those particular issues.